Imagine if I told you that you have a second brain. Yes, you have two brains. Not metaphorically, but literally. A complex nervous system with more neurons than your spinal cord, producing the same chemicals that regulate your mood and communicating directly with your brain, your upper brain, every second of the day. You probably think I was crazy, right? Well, you'd be wrong. The second brain exists, and it's sitting about 2 feet below your skull, wrapped around your intestines. Scientists call it the enteric nervous system, and it's the central player in what we now know as the gut brain connection. This isn't some new age wooey wooey wellness trend. This is cutting edge neuroscience that's revolutionizing how we understand depression, anxiety, Parkinson's disease, and even how our personalities develop. By the end of our time together, you'll understand why your gut truly is your second brain and why what happens in your intestines might be just as important as what happens in your head. The gut brain axis isn't just one connection, it's an entire super highway of communication between your digestive system and your brain. Think of it as a busy two-way street where information flows constantly in both directions. Recent research published in scientific reports defines this as a bidirectional communication pathway, where the central nervous system, CNS, exerts influence over gastrointestinal function in response to stress, while the gut microbiota regulates the CNS, the central nervous system, via immune, endocrine, and vagal pathways. But here's what makes this remarkable. Your gut contains approximately 500 million neurons. That's more than your spinal cord. This little brain weighs about 1 to 2 kilograms in adults, which is equivalent to the weight of a normal adult brain. This enteric nervous system can operate independently of your upper brain, which is why you can digest food even if you're unconscious. The communication happens through multiple channels. The vagus nerve, a massive neural highway connecting your brain stem directly to your gut. Hormones and neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers that travel through your bloodstream. Your gut's immune system talks to your brain's immune cells. Chemicals produced by trillions of bacteria living in your intestines also play a really important part. So let's talk about the microbial players. They're the real stars of this show, your gut microbiome. You're not just human, you're a walking ecosystem, right? You know, invasion of the body snatchers, for real. Your gut contains roughly 100 trillion microbes, and these aren't just passive passengers, they're active participants in your mental health, for better or for worse. Here's where it gets really interesting. These bacteria are literally producing the same chemicals that psychiatrists prescribe as medications. Studies have shown that our gut microbiota is capable of producing or stimulating the production of neurotransmitters, including serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. Let me put that in perspective. The enterochromaffin cells in your small intestine produce the highest concentration of serotonin in your body. That's 90% of your body's serotonin. It's made in your gut, not your brain. Serotonin affects your mood, sleep, appetite, and memory. Meanwhile, your gut microbes also produce GABA, which helps control feelings of fear and anxiety. But here's the kicker. The specific bacteria you have matter enormously. Some gut microbes, such as Lactobacillus rhamnosus, do not exhibit anti-anxiety effects in animal models when the vagus nerve is cut. This tells us that certain bacteria need the direct neural connection to influence your mood. Recent research has shown that individuals with better vagal nerve function have more abundant short-chain fatty acid producers such as lactobacilli and ruminococci. These bacteria produce compounds that can cross into your brain and directly influence neural activity. So this vagus nerve thing is really important. It's a super highway. It's a very important player in your entire nervous system. Think of it as like a fiber optic cable connecting your gut and your brain together. The vagus nerve is mixed nerve composed of 80% afferent and 20% efferent, meaning most of the communication is from your gut up to your brain, not the other way around. This is really mind blowing when you think about it. Your gut is constantly sending more information to your brain than your brain is sending to your gut. Your stomach literally has more to say to your head than the other way around. Gut derived serotonin activates vagal afferent fibers, transmitting signals to the part of the brain called the nucleus tractus solitarius. And that modulates serotonergic neurons in the dorsal raffinate nucleus, as well as norepinephrinic neurons. That's not an easy word to say with a mouthful, right? So basically, they're neurons that accept norepinephrine. So When your gut produces serotonin, it sends this information directly to all these different regions of your brain, most specifically three, that control mood, stress, and emotional regulation. So here's even more fascinating recent discovery. And this changes everything we thought we knew about this communication between the gut and the brain. The new researchers from Flinders University found that the distance between individual serotonin containing cells and vagal nerve endings were too far apart to occur via direct synaptic communication. Substances released from gut cells must communicate through diffusion to activate vagal sensory nerve endings, right? This means that the communication is more like a cloud, a chemical cloud, than a direct phone call. It's so cool. It's like it just floods it. And it has profound implications for how we develop new treatments for depression and anxiety. There are real world implications here. Especially in real diseases affecting real people. The gut brain connection isn't just academic, it's literal, life changing medicine. Parkinson's disease is probably the most compelling example. In Parkinson's disease, gut issues such as constipation, heartburn precede movement symptoms by years or even decades. We now know that the misfolded protein clusters known as Lewy bodies may originate in the gut and traffic directly from the gut to the brain via the vagal nerve. Even more remarkably, people whose vagus nerve has been severed have lowered risk of developing Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's disease has its huge etiological source from the gut. Depression and anxiety is also notable. Research published in Molecular Psychiatry showed that when healthy mice received gut bacteria from chronically stressed mice, they developed depression-like behaviors, but only if their vagus nerve was intact. If you get rid of the vagus nerve, the depression inducing effect from those microbes disappears entirely. Even long COVID. Stanford researchers are now exploring how impaired gut brain signals during long COVID could cause cognitive problems, such as brain fog and memory lapses. The gut brain axis may be the key to understanding why some people develop persistent neurological symptoms after COVID-19. Recent studies have underscored the early life microbiota disruption affects behavior, neuroimmune function, and neurodevelopment in children. And what happens to your gut bacteria as a baby might influence your brain for the rest of your life. There are therapeutic frontiers. This research is opening entirely new ideas for drugs and even the way we might treat naturally. We're not talking just about taking probiotics. Those can help, especially if they're specific. We're talking about precision medicine based on your individual gut signature, something like what we do with the food inflammation test here at Water's Edge Wellness. Fecal microbiota transplant, which has been somewhat nullified by Western science. All of a sudden now, there's a lot of interest in it. It's called FMT. It's gaining more attention as an innovative therapeutic approach aiming to restore microbial balance in the gut while influencing neuroinflammatory and neurodegenerative pathways. Imagine treating depression not with a pill for your brain, but by changing the bacteria in your gut. Research has shown that oral antidepressants actually work partly by activating the vagus nerve, suggesting that some of their benefits might be coming from the gut-brain communication rather than just brain chemistry alone. And even more exciting, vagus nerve stimulation, already approved for treatment-resistant depression, can induce anti-inflammatory cytokines and protect against hyperpermeability in the gut. We're learning to treat the brain by treating the gut and the vice versa. So your gut instincts were right. The next time someone tells you, trust your gut, remember, there's actual neuroscience behind that advice now. Your gut is constantly processing information, producing neurotransmitters, and sending sophisticated chemical and electrical signals to your brain. The gut microbiota play a significant role in the conversion of ingested food into nutrients and may be regarded as a filter and a sensor for exogenous compounds that enter the body. Your gut bacteria are literally tasting your world and reporting back to you through the gut into the brain. It's amazing. We're standing at the threshold of a new era in medicine. Interestingly, holistic health, holistic ancient medicine always started with the gut, but we are really getting that the path to a healthy mind often runs through a healthy gut. The conversation between your two brains never stops. The question is, are you listening to what your gut is telling you? Your gut instincts aren't just intuition. They're a product of 500 million neurons, 100 trillion bacteria, and the most sophisticated communication network in your body. Trust them. Science says you should. If you want to know more, or if you want to have a reset with your gut so that your brain is clearer, come talk to me. I'm here. I'm always here.